Welcome to the Up and Over Podcast, a professional wrestling podcast where a bunch of marks discuss pro wrestling, where everything's a work and none of our opinions matter anyway. Firstly, I'd like to introduce our local welcome wagon of Florence, South Carolina. That's going to be my man, the Cadillac Cowboy himself, Mr. Ethan Lewis.
How y'all doing tonight?
I'd also like to introduce our duo. Firstly, the one, the only, Mr. Big Papa C. That's going to be my man, Cortland.
What's up? How y'all doing?
Sitting next to him is our local Scientologist himself. That's going to be old Patty Mills.
Highly favored, How you guys doing?
Duck the head down a little. There's that Mission Impossible 2 hat, following in Tom Cruise's footsteps. And then our curator, broadcasting from the living room that looks like a guest bedroom, the man that just changed his wall around a little bit. So if you're watching this on YouTube, it looks a little bit nicer. That's my man, Casey El Gordo Gringo.
What was wrong with my wall before?
Oh, bud, I'm just saying, we've moved past the reign of terror, so I think we're in a better spot now.
Bigger and better
than we were 2 weeks ago.
Leveling up.
Last night I only ate cup ramen for dinner. I had 2 of those fucking things. You don't know how hard it is being Mike Klinsky.
Oh my God.
Fellas, we have officially moved past the reign of terror of 2003-2004, and we have moved backwards in time to 1997 ECW. And the first event we're going to be covering today is ECW Barely Legal from 97. Before we jump in, do we have anything we wanted to discuss from the current week of professional wrestling?
Hard to Kill.
Oof.
Yeah. Hard to Kill was a fantastic pay-per-view.
Yes, it was.
I enjoyed it thoroughly. I'll definitely say that.
Yes. I just think I might be getting back into Impact in 2022.
Yeah, absolutely. And to add to that, dude, I cannot remember the last name that they booked it, but Tom Phillips. Yes. Dude, he did such a good job.
Yeah.
And he fits Impact so well. It makes Impact more bearable to watch. I mean, it really stood the test of time. That's probably the best Impact pay-per-view that I've seen in the better part of 10 years.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited about it.
And Tom is what changed it for me. I was just telling telling Alex earlier. I mean, not to blame it all on Josh Matthews, but the commentary and the presentation always threw me the fuck off. But Tom just brings so much more professionalism to it.
Wasn't Matt Stryker there, though?
Matt Stryker got let go.
Thank God.
He was there.
Oh my God, that's so mean.
Yeah, I mean,
he was there and he got let go, and then Tom took his place. But I was like, I didn't want to feel. I felt bad thinking it, like just the first time I heard Tom.
Man.
But like the second I heard him talk and cover part of a match, I was like, it elevated everything so much.
Oh, yeah.
And I felt back. So I was like, they've been trying. They do their best over there, but fuck, he's just a.
I mean, when you got a fucking fly buzzing the whole time, that commentary sucked ass. It made me feel stupid for watching it.
Yeah. Because a lot of commentary for Impact, you have Matt Stryker, then you had D'Lo Brown, right?
Yeah, it was Stryker and D'Lo, right?
Yeah. And D'Lo is not the worst commentary. I've heard worse. However, he needs help, and Matt Stryker is not the person that's going to be able to carry a color commentator along.
Yeah, he could
Tom
be a
is
good
definitely one of those
play-by-play.
guys.
Like, D'Lo could probably do a good job at play-by-play with having someone like Tom there, but Matt
Exactly. I'm not the biggest Matt Stryker fan. I enjoyed his work in Lucha Underground, but I feel like that's because Lucha was heavily overproduced, so I feel like a lot of stuff that's kind of like, Impact didn't go out of their way to take out where Lucha Underground did. So,
but he also had Vampiro, and that dynamic worked well. But that was definitely it was more television based. But God, I miss Lucha.
Does anyone have news on Vampiro's health?
Tom Hannafin, by the way.
To
give you an update on his name, Tom Hannafin.
I was like, I think it's his actual name. And
awesome.
I can understand what it was Phillips for his tenure in WWE, but
I could see, dude. When I remember it is Tom Hannafin, and I knew that because I remember reading it and thinking Vince definitely heard that name and was like, "Yeah, we're changing this shit right now."
I can't pronounce that.
Hannah, what?
Hand on my what?
Too many syllables, pal. Not good shit.
Did you want to cover the information you shared with us, Cortland?
Yeah. I'm just going to read this quote. Today, Major League Wrestling, which is MLW, filed an antitrust lawsuit against World Wrestling Entertainment. According to the press release, MLW says it is based on WWE's ongoing attempt to undermine competition and monopolize professional wrestling market by interfering with MLW contracts and business prospects.
This is my first time hearing about this.
Oh, well, it seems that MLW struck their deal with Vice Television.
Yeah.
And WWE executive had reached out to Vice TV and said that Vince McMahon was pissed, in quotation, and that they would do work with the MLW. And Fight's response to that was that you are doing
you're violating an antitrust thing, like an anti-competition, whatever.
The moment was the conduct at the moment was illegal, and an antitrust violation of executives apparently responded that they could not control Vince McMahon.
Did Vince even know what the fuck Vice TV was?
Until Dark Side of the Ring, no.
What, did Vince like flip out or something?
I mean, I think it's definitely something that we can touch base on. I mean, obviously, there's not a whole lot of information other than that a lawsuit was filed.
Yeah.
But I mean, this is something that WWE has done forever. They hurt ECW whenever they were trying to strike deals. They literally stole a company or a network company right out from under them, pushed them all the way to 2 a.m. So just it's a no-brainer that they're still doing it. I'm glad that finally there are ways that people can go about it to make sure that it stops happening. And, we never wish ill on someone, obviously, but hopefully when Vince steps down, shit like this will stop happening and people will actually work together.
Right.
And if Impact is working with WWE, which we have seen, which I guess we haven't covered either, Mickie James will be entering the WWE Royal Rumble this year as the Impact's Knockout World Champion, which is them opening the proverbial forbidden door. They're also talking about doing a forbidden door entrant for the men's Rumble as well.
Yeah. How do you guys feel about that?
Over under on how long Mickie James lasts in the Rumble? 5 minutes?
She's gonna get one elimination from her, and then she's gonna get thrown out by someone, and it's gonna be barely shown on camera.
That's gonna piss me off.
She'll probably eliminate like Dana Brooke, since there is no storyline for Dana Brooke. It doesn't hurt her, it doesn't do anything. You know what I mean? Like she never has a storyline, so that's I hate to say it, that's an easy get for them.
But it's like, what's the point?
And Dana Brooke's a good worker, so like she'll make it look okay. I don't want to say she's a great worker. She's gotten this far. So I think that
I feel like when you said good worker, I immediately watched Ethan's body language fully change. It was like good worker.
I tried to back out. I tried to back out the best I could. I mean, she's still there.
So like
she's put in these spots. She's put in the Women's Royal Rumble. She's put in the Money in the Banks. She's that sixth person.
Do you think you think Vince is trying to fucking, I'm not gonna say buy Impact, but you think that they're trying to team up?
I want to truly believe that, I don't care who it was, but someone wanted to right the wrong with how Mickie got let go. Because the way that Carano handled that situation was really shitty. And like, it
wasn't just her.
Oh no, it wasn't just her. But like the fact that like he literally fucking sent her shit home in a trash bag is like fucked. So like, I really do hope that it's like someone was like, hey, like, I know it didn't end well for you, and I know you're somewhere else, but like, could we make this happen? Type of a thing. I really love the fact.
Do you think it's Johnny Ace?
I think so. I want to believe the report that like Laurinaitis himself reached out and was like, "Hey, our bad."
Because I feel like if there's
Toronto's
anyone
gone now.
with
What
like
do you need from us? What do you need from us here at WWE?
And I love,
How can I make you feel better?
Could you send me some pictures?
and I
Oh,
love
dude,
the fact that
that's
it's like if there was like a what do you need from us to do this, it was like I need to hear on WWE television, Impact Wrestling. I need you to fucking acknowledge that like we've been around for all these years. I need you to fucking admit it though, because like that's the first time in forever that they've ever referenced that.
Yeah. Personally, I just feel like, not to say that there's not going to be a Forbidden Door entrant in the Men's Rumble, but part of me feels like this just happens to be a thing where they wanted to bring in Mickie James or they wanted to right the wrong, and now people are just spewing other rumors off that one thing.
Well, they have,
I don't really.
If you didn't,
I just don't see WWE wanting to buy Impact, or they're firing everybody. You know what I mean?
They're
I
trying
don't
to
think
sell
they're
their own
wanting to
company.
bring
It's
on-
actually-
I don't see them.
It's
trying to
Vince's
buy
perverse.
Impact
Go ahead, Court.
unless someone else, the third party, is trying to buy them both, and the agreement was, let's do this kind of
Well,
thing.
did you guys see the Moose promo?
No.
Yes.
Moose
I did.
basically was just like
Yes.
he's like, after Hard to Kill, I fucking showed everyone that I am like the champion. So the next, like, he's like, the next question is, and like a former football player used to always say it, who's next?
Moose.
Yeah.
Former
Moose.
football
I mean,
player.
I'd love to see it, man. I think Moose
Moose.
is somebody who could actually make Goldberg look good.
Fuck Bill Goldberg.
Yeah.
Can we not talk about Goldberg after the bullshit we just suffered through?
Yeah. So, other than that,
Fuck Hulk
as we can
Hogan.
move on real fast. Who do y'all think will be the men's entrant? Just
Real
spitball
quick,
guess.
WWE Vince McMahon wanting to buy Impact is a funny thought to me. It's just Vince being like perverse, like, I've been releasing all these talent, I need more to release. And like that's mentally how I process that. Is like I need more people to ruin their lives. Take their I did it. I did it.
I need to rehire fucking Zack Ryder just so I can fire him again.
Yo, did he fucking do it to Jeff Jarrett?
Oh
He
man.
literally did.
All the time.
On TV,
Unceremoniously.
Samoa Joe.
He's gonna get Samoa Joe, fire him a third time.
Oh.
I will say if they are doing a men's one, unless it's like someone super fucking left field, I assume they're probably gonna do like a hey,
Hide and right.
this fuck off. It would be
I think
Mickie
it's gonna
James and Moose, but
I think it'll be like
Moose.
you can use somebody else though. Like it doesn't have to be Impact, right?
yeah.
Like Ring of Honor has a full list of people that are looking for work. So
Danhausen.
there's
It could be Jericho.
Danhausen's back to working out. Could you imagine Danhausen on WWE TV?
Did you see
Did-
his? Did you see him fill out the A&W job
So
application?
funny. And then they replied to him.
Because
they were like,
for
this is a
anyone-
very nice, very good resume.
Yeah,
or
For
very nice,
anyone-
very evil
For
resume.
everyone watching or
Yeah.
listening who doesn't know that the logo to AMW looks kind of like AEW, so he's just
Yeah.
like wrestler. I've gotten paid money.
Boss man, Tony Khan.
To say that Ethan thing about Chris Jericho possibly being it, Booker T said, and I know Booker T said that he thinks that if Chris Jericho shows up at the Royal Rumble, they will boo him out of the building.
Booker T
Really?
is one of the dumbest people when it comes to this shit.
The
He's
most
one of those
out of
tribalism
touch.
morons.
Bro.
He's one of those
I just
tribalism.
fucking-
It's us versus them,
I
brother. He
just-
got to get out.
I just
They're gonna boo the
don't-
shit out of him.
I just
Could you
don't
imagine-
understand, dude.
Could you
I
imagine
just don't.
Judas in WWE?
Fuck, dude. Fuck.
It'd be the loudest thing you ever
I
heard.
hate it. I don't even
Break
like
the
the
walls
thought.
down. Just break the walls down and get the pop. They're not gonna boo him. Booker T and Bully Ray are old and stupid and need to shut
Yeah.
the fuck up.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's that
so my
podcast
guess-
on? Sirius XM? Who the fuck still pays for Sirius XM? Go fuck yourself.
They all wear Affliction t-shirts. Everyone who listens to that shit.
Damn.
If you wear Affliction t-shirts and you listen to this podcast, that's fine.
It's okay.
You're omitted. Gotta reserve the audience, brother. Get him back.
What the fuck are you doing?
Bring him back in.
As long as you have a 41.5-inch waist,
Oh,
you can wear it.
we've already stopped. We've already moved on.
So,
Please.
I ain't moving
My
on.
guess,
Shit.
It's gonna
my
become
guess
merch.
before we move on is I think it's going to be Nick Aldis. I think that's an easy pick for them to use. They already have Mickey. Who the fuck's going to bring her there? It's another champion from another company.
Limo.
You know? So I think that we should definitely keep Nick Aldis on that list. I mean, that when you look at that dude, that's somebody that Vince wants. He can act like he doesn't. Like, you look at that guy, he makes.
If he wanted him, he would have had him already. That's my issue with it. He's been out there for fucking ever, man.
He's been with but like he has a nice working relationship with fucking Smashing Pumpkins and the NWA, and like he's fun with it, you know.
He's a YouTube star, man.
What a
Yeah,
king.
I mean, he re-signed with them. He said something along the lines of like, I can't really remember what he said. I don't want to misquote it, but something like "better safe than sorry," some kind of shit like that.
Yeah.
When he signed it, did he say that today was the greatest day he's ever known?
All right, guys, I'm gonna get.
Well,
off
he said
now.
I'm a vampire or some shit like
All
Despite all of his rage.
that.
All right, guys. So jumping into the actual podcast today, we do have something to cover, and not getting your shitty little Smashing Pumpkins references in, y'all annoying sons of bitches.
There's like 3 of them. It's fine. Not many.
It was quick too. It was bang, bang, bang. Ethan's like ready to leave the house. He's like, all right, I'm done with this shit. Anything else y'all want to cover quickly?
Fuck Hulk Hogan.
Oh, did you guys see Hook and AB at the strip club?
Jesus Christ.
Boy, that boy had that.
I'm
ass
telling you,
on
bro.
his
Hook is
face.
going places, man.
Dog.
Hook is a king.
Know what to do with
There's so
that
many
shit.
people on the internet that are happy about it, and then there's so many people on the internet
That hate him.
Dude,
Hate
have
him.
you seen the tweet going around where everyone's like, "Oh my god, all these young lions AEW has," and it's got Hook with that bitch's ass in his face, and it's got Sam and Ty and Daniel Garcia kissing somebody. I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Them are the really
raising
young
them up. These stallions.
Tony Khan's feeding him coke, making it happen for him.
Oh yeah.
Allegedly.
No, I don't know what you're talking about. So, fellas, let's jump in. ECW Barely Legal from April 13th, 1997. I was a wee 3.5 years old. ECW Arena, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. 1,170 in attendance. Ethan, did you have something you wanted to chime in with?
Oh, I was a year and 2 months old.
Oh, okay, yeah. Just wee little babies. Casey was still 35. It's crazy. We cut live, and Joey Styles is in the ring to welcome us to ECW's inaugural pay-per-view, Barely Legal. There's a Bischoff takes it up the ass sign in the crowd, and I couldn't draw my attention elsewhere. I was fixated on it. Styles is about to go down the card, and the Dudleys come out to the ring unannounced and really unwelcomed. I was surprised at a "fuck you, Devon" chant that broke out pretty quickly.
That was kind of weird, yeah.
It was very weird. Devon cuts almost like a southern heel promo in the crowd, calling them inbred and illiterate. And as far as he's concerned, it's now time to testify. And we cut to the opening promo. We get the promo video, and if you played this for somebody back in 1997, I think you'd be hard-pressed for anybody to not at least be intrigued by ECW. They killed this promo, man. This looked awesome. Even in 2022, it looked great. I loved it. I thought it was great. We cut back to live. The Dudleys are in the ring with Sign Guy Dudley and Joel Gertner. Gertner does his... Oh, Lord.
The quintessential stud.
Gertner does his shtick and introduces the champions. The Eliminators, who are Perry Saturn, who at the time was just going by Saturn, and John Cronus, who was just Cronus, make their way down to a pretty good reception. Sign Guy Dudley gets in the ring as they're kind of like telling the Dudleys to get in the ring. He hits him with his sign, and then he just gets destroyed with a total elimination and kills his ass. And the crowd goes bonkers for it. And the crowd was super hot for this match specifically. Like, off the rip.
I'll be honest, this crowd was really weird to me. This was like the only match they were hot for from start to finish.
Well, this time, like, it was like still weird. It's like weird to think about, like, but in this time frame, like, it was hard pressed to find an ECW crowd that didn't want to fucking fist fight the Dudleys. Like,
Yeah.
and it wasn't even, and it was like almost just like for real hatred for them. Like every fucking time that they were out there, it was like, we want to fuck you guys up. So
yeah,
like,
that was
any
a
chance
part of their. That was like part of the reasoning for them leaving. They were like, we think we're gonna get hurt. We continue being in this company. Like they know where we live.
I mean, like some of the promos they cut, money. It's like kind
where
of
he would just like Bubba would be pointing at the guy in the front row.
Yeah.
Fuck you, fat boy. Yeah. Like those are like, you go back and watch those. That's real, brother. Those motherfuckers are gonna be waiting outside.
Dude, he's called fans by names, like pointing them out and been like, hey. Yada yada, like fuck you. You remember when I did yada yada? Like,
yes,
like this is a tight family, bud.
So like having fucking having having Saturn and Cronus do a fucking total elimination on either one of them. You're like, I need this fucking now. Like,
hit it again, kill him. Like it was, the crowd was very very hot for this. The ring sounds insane on this recording too. I don't know how to explain it, but if every ring sounded like this with better audio, it'd be so much better. Like, this ruled. Casey's shaking his head.
It's like my brain, because my brain is like, it sounds like if you've ever been to like an independent, like, an independent like event, like it's that same kind of sound with a fucking camera from 1997. And then you've got fucking some dickhead that's like 2 rows in front of the hard camera that's like, "Hi, Steve," as loud as he can.
Yes.
It happened throughout the entire event, but like the acoustics of it just sounded like fucking wild. Like,
and the hard cam just so happened to be a little too far back. Like it was just like everything was just so good about this. It felt super DIY. Saturn really moved with intent throughout the match, and I can understand why he was a hot commodity after ECW. Like everything he did was very purposeful in this, and he was flying the fuck around. Like he moved at 150% speed consistently. He hit a double jump springboard Saturn salt. That's Joey Styles' call, and it ruled. I sat up out of my seat like, yes. The Eliminators win after Saturn pins Bubba Ray after hitting total elimination. Cortland, what did you give this? Did you have anything else that you wanted to add? Any spots that stood out to you?
Oh man, there's so many good spots in this matches. There's stereo splashes that the Eliminators do that looked fucking awesome. The main thing that I took away from this match is just how great Perry Saturn is. And Perry Saturn was one of, if not one of the best in ring and out of the ring that ECW had for a solid 2 years. He could work with everybody, man. And to see what other companies did to him, it really sucks looking at it at 2022 vision, you know? But this match is fantastic. I went 3 1/4 on it. For an opener, for such a small niche thing. I mean, this is the first match for ECW's pay-per-view, and they trusted these 4 guys to deliver and keep people here so that way they can remember the next pay-per-view like, oh shit, they opened with such a banger of a match last time. Let me get this and order it early, right? Like, it feels like they did everything they were supposed to do for their first opener pay-per-view. And my hat's off to all 4 of them. Everyone played their part. It was awesome.
Pat, what you got?
I gave it 3 flat. I mean, I could go 3 1/4. I think I just bump it up. I love that match, dude. It was fucking sick. It was sick to fucking start off the pay-per-view because we all know this pay-per-view is fucking insane. But like I will say, I watched the first match by myself, and then me and Cortland ended up watching the pay-per-view together. And when we first saw each other after us both watching that first match, the first thing we said to each other was like, yo, Perry Saturn is a motherfucking dog. Like, he was so good in this match, man. And it's just like, I feel like he's one of those wrestlers that never really got their flowers like they should have when it was going on. And, you know, I'll be the first to do it, I guess. I'll give him his flowers on this podcast.
Yeah, but, didn't give him his flowers. Gave him a mop instead.
Gave him a mop instead.
Casey, what you got on this, my friend?
I want to give a special shout out to one of the guys standing in the crowd that had an away Jerome Bettis jersey on.
Yeah.
I fucking saw it and I was like, oh fuck. I was like, this is 97 is shit. I love Jerome Bettis. It was the first football jersey I ever had, so I was like, that's my dude. To go back to what I was saying about the hard camera being just too close to the crowd when Saturn's gonna go for he goes for an elbow drop. Right before he goes, he's your big elbow from someone in the crowd. And I was like, God damn it, dude. Yeah, I mean, I we can all kind of gush about Saturn for a minute, but it's like it's fucking wild to see how fucking great he was. And I think the whole problem is that he was just he's a big muscular guy who fucking flipped around with such grace that it didn't make any fucking sense for someone his size. So of course other people are not going to utilize him that way. Also, I think I'm not 100% sure, but I'm 90% sure that at the end of this match, Joel comes back in and says that
covered that yet.
The Dudleys actually won, and I'm going to cover it. I don't care. But he gets a total elimination for his troubles, and I think it's the whole reason why. I think he wears the neck brace. So
yeah, they also, I'm pretty sure, broke his nose. If you watch, he gets killed. And he immediately grabs his face. Yeah. But that's the whole shtick there is why he wears a neck brace literally for the rest of his career.
I was trying to remember if it was because of them or if it was because of the Dudleys. I don't, because like he had like that weird relationship with them afterwards. But I was like, I think it was like this was the moment for it. But I gave the match a 3. It's a solid start to this pay-per-view.
Big Ethan.
I went 3 1/4. I thought it was your perfect opener. Coming out of watching all this 2003 shit where the Dudleys just do the same match every single week, and you also have overbooked bullshit on top of it. It was nice seeing and being reminded why they are regarded as one of the best tag teams of all time. Because this ruled. You know, it's not some amazing thing, but I mean, they just went out there and did spots. I mean, that's what this crowd wanted. Like I said, this crowd was weird to me. You know, they were quiet for some of the biggest matches on this show. They just wanted spots. You know, they just wanted shit to happen, and this match gave it to them more than any match on the card. It was just nonstop, boom, boom, bang, throwing bombs. So I went 3 1/4. I think it was one of my favorite matches on the card, to be honest, just because the crowd was with it the whole way through. Perry Saturn is awesome.
Dude, the tag matches in ECW, it just blows my mind.
Just
that like they're so great, and like. I mean, we'll get into it again, but like ECW was the first one to do triple threats, 3-way dances. They were the first ones to do tornado tag matches. And like, if you look at any other company and you look back at like the format of what everyone's used for these style matches, you're looking at ECW product. You're looking at the first ones ever done. And that is all to the brainchild of Paulie Dangerously. Like, he's the one that told them all that they could do it, and they pulled it off, man.
Yeah. Yeah. I knew that this was going to be a doozy as soon as I saw the Eliminators get in the ring and they had like the tandem over the top land at the same time. I was like, oh, this is fucking great. Bubba broke his ankle in this match.
Yes, he was nursing it heavy too. I was like, that's not that shit hurts.
And he still takes total elimination at the end.
Fuck.
It made me laugh so hard when I saw it, and I was like, how in the hell is he even firstly hitting the ropes that he has to? Like, he's hitting them full speed. I went 3 1/4 on this. I thought it was great, man. I was between 3 and 3 1/4. I just thought it was great. As you said, Casey, Joel Gertner announced afterwards that due to the Stud Muffin scoring system,
awesome,
the Dudleys retain their titles.
I fucking love him so much.
The new champions hit him with total elimination for his troubles, and I'm pretty sure Cronus breaks Gertner's entire face. And then I have this moment's the reason that Joel wore the neck brace for the rest of his career.
To also go off of your point about them coming in, they also went out the exact same way. There wasn't instead of like going through the middle ropes or going underneath, it was like Saturn went out over the top rope, and then Cronus grabbed his belt, looked, and went, okay, and then went over it was like everything that they did was like, this is a tag team.
In stereo, yeah. It's just so good, man.
And it's crazy to see like them hug, and for such a mean ECW crowd not to eat them alive for hugging so much. Like, those dudes are genuinely happy for each other in this match.
Yeah.
So it's really cool to see.
I think Saturn was also calling some shit. Like, hey, we're gonna kill Gertner in a minute, so just get ready. Because you see him getting in his ear and talking. But yeah, they definitely crushed some people on this card for doing even halfway similar things, and so they definitely gave him their respect. But this was an awesome opener. We get a promo package for Sandman. I watched this on Peacock. Did y'all watch it all on Peacock as well?
I did.
Yeah.
So
what Joey Styles says after the match killed me.
What's that?
Joey Styles after the match, he goes to the he's like, they kept going to the match, and he tell Joey Gertner's parents he's never coming home again.
Joey Styles, what a character. We get a promo package for Sandman, which I guess was entirely dubbed over. Like, there's like quotes and things that happen in this, but it's just like a music package. I suppose this was really introducing him to those who may not have had knowledge to ECW and just bought it. But then you find out that like there's
apparently
promo work
it's like
involved.
He's trash talking Balls Mahoney for some like spot that happened on TV.
Well, he cracks him with that kendo stick that we see.
Folds
it over his head. No big deal.
And then the rest of it's just like smashing beers into his head.
Just doing the typical Sandman thing,
still one of
brother.
the best uses of slow-mo technology was watching that whole cane fucking wraps around his head, basically hits him in the shoulder blades, and then comes back. I was like, Jesus.
It's crazy. It's crazy who Sandman. It's crazy who Sandman is today because there's nothing. I mean, it's obviously destiny. There's nothing that didn't tell you that's gonna happen to the guy.
Yeah. Odd little tidbit about Sandman. I'm pretty sure he's sober now, and he does like his whole shtick in the beginning, like his walkout entrance with like cans of soda or like cans of like non-alcoholic beer. So he's just having the time of his life, but still living the gimmick, brother.
Some fucking old duels just crack.
Just lighting his ass up. Chris Candido's in the ring, and he cuts a promo, and it's long-winded as hell. The best thing he said was him daring Sandman to come down and hit him with a Singapore cane. And then he says, there's a problem, though. I'm allergic to cigarette smoke, and that if he has a Singapore cane, well, Singapore is a pussy country, and once Sandman has a Jersey cane, to then come hit him. He also cuts a little bit of a promo on Stevie Richards and on Terry Funk, and he says, I will be a part of this pay-per-view somehow, some way. Then we cut to Pat's favorite wrestler of all time, the baddie with no personality, Lance Storm, walking down, kind of doing like a, what the hell's happening? I didn't get this memo in the back. He has a quick handshake with Chris Candido, and we're on to our next match, which is Lance Storm versus Rob Van Damme. This was real fun. This was excellent as well. Another banger of a match. And in 2022 eyes, it's easy to say that like this should have been great, but it did deliver, man. Even in 2022 standards, this was awesome. Storm hits a tiger bomb on a chair, then follows it up with a flying leg drop, which RVD lands straight on that chair head first. Van Damme tries.
It was fantastic.
Oh, for sure. Most of this.
The chair wasn't set up by Lance Storm. RVD is still selling the bomb
and has it with him.
He grabs the chair and tries to pull himself up with it, and his hand slips the seat, and he's just leaning over trying to get himself up, and he gets a leg drop. And he eats the chair.
Good shit.
It's good.
Van Damme tries for the springboard back elbow thing, but slips off the middle rope, and the crowd gave him the business. You fucked up. Just lit him up for a minute, man. Storm hits Van Damme with a couple of shitty chair shots, and the crowd is eating this alive at this point, booing the hell out of him. RVD jumps up, hits Van Daminator, followed up with a standing moonsault for the 3. Ethan, what'd you go on this, my friend? Did I miss anything that stuck out to you?
I don't think you did. I mean, it was just a real fun match. I went 3 stars. The only reason I didn't go 3.25 or 3.5 is there was like a minute or two in there I feel like could have been shaved off just due to the crowd they were working under. Because this is where I started to notice that when things don't just keep running at that pace, they kind of dip down and quieten way down. And this was going real hot. And there was like a minute or two there where they were actually doing some stuff a little bit slower, and the crowd just kind of dissipated, which it didn't bother me, though, them slowing it down. But I think it, in ECW, if the crowd's not into it, it kind of takes away from the match, because half of what ECW is the fucking crowd and the fan base. So, but I mean, I have no complaints about the match. It was a blast, everything you'd expect from these two in ECW. So yeah, 3 flat, good shit. No time wasted. Hell yeah.
Love it. Pat, what'd you go, my friend?
I went 3 1/4 for this one. Just two fucking masters fucking mastering, man. That shit was awesome. It was an awesome fucking match. Like, I can't, there's really nothing I can add to this. That shit was fucking badass.
Yeah,
I have a question for you. I have a question. Is Rob Van Damme a baddie with personality?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. He has a lot of personality.
Good. So we had the tale of two baddies in this one.
God damn it.
Love to see it. There's a clip for you, Casey. Go ahead and post that reel on Instagram. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok over at Up and Over Pod. I went 3 1/4 on this as well, man. I loved it. I thought it was great. Like you said, two masters mastering, man. This was just a blast for me. You really see that, like, the future for both of these guys could have been limitless, right? And really, RVD got the most of it because he's a baddie with personality, and that got him far. That got him far. Casey, what'd you go on this, man?
First I want to say Lance Storm's fucking haircut is the wildest shit.
Portland circa 2014, baby.
It's his
motherfucker had the rat tail.
Lance
that
Storm
man taped the rat tail on his neck.
Yeah, he has his signature flat top with this fucking just thick fucking rat tail. And
Dude, he don't even look real.
When he turned, I was like, "What the fuck is that?" Like, I was like, "Hold on, wait, where'd this come from?"
I thought something had crawled up on my TV. That shit fucking weirded me out.
So,
Lance Storm, you're not a baddie as long as you had that damn rat tail on. Cut that off.
So to Ethan's kind of points about, like, the match kind of losing the crowd a bit, I think it also lost me a little bit. It's not a bad match. I just think that there was, like, just how things were going. Lance also hitting one of the daintiest chair shots I've ever seen in the history of chairs. It was so. I was like, did something go wrong? Like, you didn't even hear contact. It was so light. I gave it 2 3/4.
I knew it.
I lost it a little bit, and like I guess it's not a bad match. It's just like it just felt weird.
Okay, I'm glad that I'm not the only. Not that it was bad or anything, but there was just a point in there where it kind of like it felt like they were running at a pace, and then it was just like it got weird for a minute, then they finished off.
Also, like them being the crowd, all the ECW diehards, them hating fucking RVD is also just weird.
Oh yeah, they were chanting "You sold out" and shit.
Yeah,
I forgot.
We'll get there.
They just, but like from start to finish,
they stealing my thunder.
We're not stealing anything. It happened.
They did it at the beginning
brother.
of the match, Buster.
It happened throughout, and it just felt weird because I'm just like, he is like ECW. Like, he held the television title for fucking like 2 years or some dumb shit. Like, everyone loved him. So them being like, fuck that guy, I'm like, ah.
ECW in my brain is like, okay, Sandman, RVD, Tommy Dreamer, like those are really like the staple guys in my brain. Sabu's in there, but like Taz is in there, but like really, those are the three that come to mind. Yeah. Cortland, Casey dropped us under 3 stars there, brother. I need you to bounce us back, please.
Go 2.
I gave it a flat 3.
I'll take
flat 3. I enjoyed this match. Like y'all have said, it did fall flat in about probably like 7 minutes in. But they do bring it back up. I enjoyed certain spots. RVD throwing the chair, Lance Storm catching it, throwing it back at him. It's just like little small shit, little nuances like that. Like we touched on, they do like this whole "you sold out" chants, and that's all based from like just rumors of him leaving and he was going to dip and all this nonsense. But like the chunk of this match is at the end. It's after the match, because this is just a story that they're trying to get both of these guys to, right? And Lance Storm gets his flowers from this crowd. his rat tail made me want to grow mine back. And I just, it's so, what, man?
You have a daughter now, brother. I need you to just keep it together for me.
I'm going to give her a rat tail too. Fuck.
No, don't do that.
Do it.
Hell
My kid, I'll do what I want.
Oh, man. You're my child.
Won't give her a skullet?
But yeah, man, I enjoyed this match a lot. It could have done more. I'm glad that they got out of there when they had the chance to get out.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, 3 flat. I feel like I said, the end of this match and this interaction at the end is really where they were trying to get, because the match did not tell you at all.
It was just a nice little gift that you got. Check off skullet off of a word I wasn't expecting to hear today.
I just learned what a skullet was yesterday.
Oh man, it's gonna follow you around.
Why were you so angry?
Wait. What is a skullet though?
How do you explain it? There was this. I don't even know how to.
Bald up top, but then you're rocking like the
Hulk
cul-de-sac turn.
Hulk
Hogan, but like white trashier. Like it's
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like you want to cross it.
It's like a come over, but from the back.
yeah, it's very terrifying. Yeah, I want Casey to grow his hair out and rock a skullet for a one episode.
I'll do it. I don't give a fuck.
Man got a skullet.
What happened?
Just bring it out.
Oh man, I would probably throw up live. It'd be terrible. Let's get back on track, fellas. But post-match, RVD says he doesn't give a shit if he has the respect of any of the boys in the back. He's pissed that he was chosen as a second-line wrestler to fill in for the injured Chris Candido. He said that he's not a second-line anything. He took the match for one reason, and that was business. He's now worth more money in ECW, and he's worth more money elsewhere. As he's leaving the ring, can y'all clarify on what these chants were? Because for me, at first, it was "get the fuck out," and then it turned into "you sold out." Like, it was kind of like a weird, let's move toward this.
Yeah,
but I'm pretty sure it was "get the fuck
when
out."
they had the 4 syllables. I did hear the "you sold out" at the end, but that before I was kind of wondering what they were saying.
Pretty sure it was "get the fuck out." Like, I'm pretty sure that was.
Was it just me, or like did like RVD have like?
Let's go away, Heat brother.
He had like an aggressive lisp throughout the entire promo, though, and I was just like, it was like really like lispy. He was like, he's like, I'm super good now. It felt weird.
Casey, you fixate on audio more than anyone I've ever met.
It's fucking the whole fucking show, man.
Sometimes y'all watch different shows than I watch.
He's Mr. Monday Night. He's Mr. Pay-Per-View.
Dude,
Casey's not even watching the match. Casey's listening to the guy near hard cam.
I got these beautiful headphones on. I can hear fucking everything.
Dude, it's like I watch the show and it's like, all right, video package, crowd's hot, start the first match, got some commentators talking. Y'all, it's like there was a sign over there on row A of section 110 in the balcony.
Like, there was mustard on his lapel.
Not to spoil anything, I'm still trying to figure out how the fuck that massive sign that comes in later on, like where the fuck they were hiding that thing at.
No idea what you're even referencing.
If you do not know what I'm talking about, you did not watch one of these matches.
I watched
Ethan, go back and just watch the intro, and you'll see that Eric Bischoff. What was it? What was the quote?
It's literally front row. You can't miss
Bischoff takes it up the ass. I mean, front row, dude. Front row hard cam. It's not hard to see. Just pay attention, Ethan.
Yeah, just because I saw the Jerome Bettis that's on hard cam fucking 7 rows back up on a chair. He's one of the best Steelers of all time.
Let's go back. Let's get back.
You're about to heart, just crush Casey's heart. It's fine. We jump into the next match, which Joey Styles, I feel like, does a really good job like presenting to an American audience. We have a special match presented from Michinoku Pro Wrestling. It's Taka Michinoku, Terry Boy, and Dick Togo versus Gran Hamada, Masato Yakushiji, and the Great Sasuke. One thing stood out to me in this match that pissed me off, and it is audio. So Casey, I'm going to sound like a hypocriticizer here. And that was That was to pop Cortland more than anything.
Well, you're a fucking hypocritizer too.
You're a fucking hypocritizer too. Styles on commentaries says the great Sasuke, and it made me throw up in my mouth. But anyway, this was a match that ran at breakneck speed from start to finish. This just kept going. Some of the bumps Yakashiji took in this were cringeworthy, as they were trying to actually commit murder, and he was only 21 years old.
That poor child.
Sasuke's moonsault to the outside on Dick Togo made me sit up and yell, and I'm in my room by myself. He goes right into the front row, and you see one of the guys like that was in the front row, 4 rows back, like, what the fuck? Like, it's just so good.
Holy shit!
It was sick. The end sequence between Michinoku and Sasuke was great, and Sasuke gets the pin for his team via a tiger suplex. I went 4 stars flat on this, man. I thought this was the best match in the card. On the card, I thought that they delivered, and the crowd was super, super into it, and it was just really well received. Cortland, Pat, I saw y'all immediately have a good reaction, so I'm gonna pass it down to y'all. Rock, paper, scissors for who goes first.
I just do it. I went 4.5 stars, bro. I fucking loved this match. Jesus Christ, I'd watch it any day. Like, it's just great, man. It's beautiful, beautiful work from every man that was in the match. When I was a kid, I was a big Taka Michinoku fan. So, like, just watching a random match, because, I didn't know we were going to do this pay-per-view last week. Shit. And, like, just to be sitting here and just watch a random Taka match, like, I just fucking lost it. I was like, this is fucking awesome.
A nice little gift.
Yeah, And it was just great. It was a great fucking match. I had a lot of fun. Me and Cortland were literally losing our minds watching this match, dude.
Yeah. We had a good time. A lot of screaming and a lot of yelling.
Yeah.
I went 4.25, man. I really enjoyed this match. I think that if you're a pro wrestling fan that can't really get into 6-man tag matches, I highly suggest. This is one that I think goes to top of the list for 6-man tags. It did go a little far. They could have shaved off a couple minutes, but I mean, I'm not complaining about the length. It's fucking amazing. There's so many near falls and a lot of saves from partners. There's a Michinoku driver that, I mean, they always look great, but man, that one looked fucking devastating.
Yeah.
They also pointed out that Suzuki had wrestled in the Tokyo Dome the night before, sold out, and then flew back to Philadelphia to do ECW Barely Legal.
Said he might have jet lag.
And he's flying around.
And he gets and whoops everyone's ass.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
Sasuke was moving, bro. Sasuke
was
getting
it's
after it.
fantastic. Everyone worked their shit. There's a lot of personality in this match, which I loved. It really came through the screen. The crowd really enjoyed this match. It's just great to see that even in 97 that Japan was coming to America to work American promotions, and it was being so well received by the American audience. And it goes to show that, I mean, athleticism is, you don't have to have an English language or any language to be able to tell an art in the ring. If it's fantastic, people are going to enjoy it. You don't have to cut a promo all the time for you to be well received. And this match showed it over and over again for a solid 20 minutes. So
yeah.
Hats off to it.
Speaking of the personality, there was a moment where Terry Boy and Taka Michinoku had, I want to say it was Great Sasuke's arms, and Dick Togo jumps up on his back and flexes on him. It was
fucking kneels down on him and poses, and I was like, "This is the most disrespectful fucking thing I've ever seen anyone do."
Man.
Dick Togo that shit.
Dick Togo's probably the most underrated.
Super Kick has to do that shit.
Yeah,
that has to be done.
Go ahead, Ethan.
Dick Togo is probably the most underrated person in this match. Like, I've been riding hard for Dick Togo for a while. I actually discovered him before I even saw this match.
That's the craziest statement I've ever heard.
What?
I've been riding
hard for Dick Togo. I mean, Togo.
You can't be.
Thank goodness your mic didn't cut out on his last name. That would have been a fun clip, brother.
Riding hard on Dick.
Give y'all something to post.
There was also a brain buster that Taka hit, I think, on Yakashiji, and I was like, oh, he committed murder, like right there in Philadelphia.
I want to add in really fast to the Dick Togo pose. It's while they're doing it, and then Michinoku flips off the crowd.
No,
he goes.
I missed that,
and then he just goes, ha.
so tough. Ethan, we had discussed your rating on this, and I think your fears came true, considering.
Oh no, I'm gonna be the lowest one on it, but I mean it was still awesome. But I guess I'll go ahead and come out with mine to start with. I was 3 3/4. I was initially 3.5, 3 3/4. As somebody who loves Japanese wrestling, I love these matches. They actually had, because they did the Michinoku Pro Kai and Tai run of matches a lot, like in 96 and 97. And they did one on fucking Hardcore TV a few weeks before this. Yeah. That you seen that one, Casey?
Yes, of course. Yeah. It's so good.
And it's weird because that match, it was probably 7 years ago when I watched it, but I went 4.5 then. I haven't watched it since, so I might need to go back and look. But yeah, this was a blast for me. And to go back on the Dick Togo fucking shit. Just seeing him here, it always is surprising to me that he hasn't become a bigger name to American fans because of his personality. I remember I saw him for the first time when he came over and faced El Generico, Sami Zayn, in PWG in 2010.
Not the same person.
Yeah, you're right. My bad. I get them mixed up. And I was blown away by Dick. And now Dick Togo's in fucking Bullet Club, even though Bullet Club sucks now. But just weird seeing fucking 20 how long ago was this? 25 years ago? Fucking Dick Togo, and he's still around. And then obviously Taka Michinoku. And also another cool thing, it seems like every 10 years, there's like a Japanese trios match that comes to America and exposes America to a whole nother style of Japanese wrestling. And in 97, it was this that showed everybody what Michinoku Pro was all about. And then 10 years later, in 2006, the Dragon Gate 6-man from ROH Supercard of Honor did the same fucking thing. I just think it's sick that, what you smirking at, Case?
We'll talk about it after.
Okay. But I just think it's really cool looking back and seeing how things trend and how this match influenced the style of a lot of American junior wrestling in the years to come. It's just,
you're talking decades to come too, man. It's still felt today.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, 100%. It's just, these matches are super influential, and I mean Taka Michinoku and all them signed to WWF after this. So, yep, 3 3/4.
I think to kind of how you were saying that no one really kind of gives Dick Togo the time of day. It's because of this shit. Anytime. He was around up until he goes back to Japan. Anytime he was on American television besides in ECW, fucking horrible racist Japanese shit is all we ever got from these guys. So it's it's Casey, unfortunate. But what's up?
Did you just call that man Dick Togo?
Yes. Dick Togo, always.
Pat watched me sit up and change my whole body. I know you did.
Looks at it and I just moved past it. I'm like, it's Dick Togo. I don't give a fuck, dude. I'm pretty sure he's been called that multiple times on national television.
Dick Togo. Goodness. What a king. Casey, what'd you go on this? Did you have anything else that you wanted to add to it?
I'm a little sad that no one either liked this spot or just kind of everyone missed it.
There's so many spots.
Terry Boy throwing Yakashiji out of the ring, Yakashiji rolling back in, Terry Boy coming back into the ring, throwing him back out, Yakashiji sliding back in, doing a baseball slide into a fucking head scissor takeover is one of the greatest fucking spots. Where it's just the constant back and forth and the little bit of humor into it was so good. And it was enough to where I had to stop and be like, this was a great sequence that it popped me for some reason. Just the constant back and forth and Terry Boy getting visibly fucking frustrated. Be get the fuck out of the ring. And then getting a scissor takeover for his time.
And Yakashiji was a late add to this, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember who was supposed to be on it, but there's like either he sick
filled in for Gran Naniwa, who is a comedy wrestler. So I feel like we would have gotten a lot of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was injured, and Yakashiji made the most of his time. But sorry to interrupt you.
No, you're fine. I'd forgotten about that too, but yeah, because originally when I looked at the card, like before I watched it, that was who was billed. No one ever changed it for some reason, which is like, come on, man. Yakashiji fucking wrestled like 90% of the match.
And he retired, like, he only wrestled for 9 years. He retired in like 2002. Because I loved everything he did so much. I was like, let me go watch some more matches. Nothing.
I mean, that's
the only one.
They beat the shit out of him in this match. Like he
was like, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm out of here. Fuck this. This
also,
hurt.
Going from watching two of the worst multiple people tag matches at WrestleMania to this, and they're being loose tag rules where it was like technically as long as one person from each side is in the ring, that's the legal man. It fucking worked. It like, yeah, I'm not gonna go back on the tangent again. I sat kind of where Ethan is. I'm at 3 3/4 for the match. It's a great match. It fucking redeems every fucking tag match I think we've watched since this podcast has started.
Yeah. I really would implore you and Ethan to go back and rewatch this and see if it doesn't jump up to a 4.
No,
there's just a lot to embrace in this, and like a lot to digest, really. Yeah. That I think it'd be easy to jump up or down, just depending on what you're fixated on.
Yeah, for sure. That's why I'm like, it's probably just nice to stay it there, because if I don't make me pick it apart, I'll be cynical about it.
That's fair. That's totally fair. Post-match, there's a little scrum between Togo and Hamada, but it was just like, it felt like a weird thing. Maybe real heat, brother. Maybe real heat, brother.
Because it kind of seems like it, like everyone's on the outside pulling him away, and he's like looking at him like, "You fucking think this is a joke, dude? I'm gonna come in there," and everyone's shit, and they're
just
all
relax, brother, please.
Ring, like, is someone else gonna come in and run up on us, or like?
So they just like put their hands up. It was just a weird thing. We get a promo from Stevie Richards in black and white. Tonight is about Stevie Richards becoming a man, and he's ready to earn the respect that he feels he deserves, especially from Raven. It's just whatever.
I get that they're trying to. It's the BWO. They're obviously trying to do the whole like NWO thing, but their song doesn't match the promo. So having like the BWO entrance song being like all fucking quirky, and he's like, "I was a fucking shill of a man for 2 years being fucking," and like it's like a serious promo.
It's very funny,
dude. It's fucking wild. You're just like,
it was.
I was like sitting there like halfway through. I'm like, was this an accident? Like, why are we doing this to him? Like, it's a serious promo.
Didn't you have Blue Meanie pop in at the end, talking like Razor Ramon at the end too?
Yes.
Yeah.
He's like,
I love that
I'm like,
shit.
I hate it, man. It's so bad.
It's awful. That's why I love it.
It's so bad.
I hated it so much as a kid, dude. I hated it so much.
Speaking about hating things, we move on to the next match. The franchise Shane Douglas with Francine by his side, defending the ECW World Television Championship against Pitbull #2, Anthony Durante.
I forgot to mention, in between or right after Big Stevie Cool's promo, there was a Terry Funk video that was taken out of the Peacock version.
They cut a lot from this, apparently. They trimmed a lot of stuff out. They also did a halfway job of like censoring certain words, but then like later on, like that word was just fine. It just seemed silly.
All over the place.
Yeah.
However, could you imagine actually having somebody dedicated at Peacock, like having to go through and sit through all of this and like, all right, here's a beep button at 2 hours, 15 minutes, 42 seconds. That would be horrible.
You're not going to mute the crowd whenever they're chanting "You're a crack
Get the fuck out!" Oh yeah. Show your tits. Show like
out Shane Douglas when he says, "I was the first one to call out pussies."
But they bleeped. Yeah, they bleeped. They bleeped Chris Candido earlier for saying Singapore's a pussy country, which I get bleeping that, right?
Well, no,
that's a whole country of people.
He says he calls out pussies, but then he says something else in like the same sentence, and they bleep that out, and it wasn't as bad as calling someone pussies. Like I was sitting there going, what?
Pitbull number 2, Anthony Durante, who looks like Braun Breaker now that I think about it, is not only challenging for the championship, but also to avenge Pitbull number 1, Gary Wolf, as the franchise broke Wolf's neck. Yeah. It could have been due to the placement of this match on the card, but this was the shits. Douglas wins this via pinfall by way of belly-to-belly suplex. I gave it a 1.5 stars, fellas.
Damn!
I gave it a 1.5 stars. And that was that felt generous. This sucked ass cheeks. Casey, what you got, my friend?
Okay, so like we had talked about this, privately in our group chat. Like the promo behind it, all of the work of like how, like what they were trying to explain, like once again on paper sounded good. I don't know if it's because Pitbull number 2 is just a good tag wrestler or what, but yeah,
even a good tag wrestler.
I'm trying to give him benefit of the doubt, man. All right, I'm trying to be nice here. For some reason, I wrote down when Shane Douglas is cutting his promo, he goes, "You don't have to like me, and I don't give a shit if you do." And I was like, "Good for you, Shane." I was like, I like that.
That's admirable.
But to go to what you said this finish was, remind everyone, Pitbull number 2 gets hit with brass knuckles, which looks like
a chain, right?
With it looks like a leather fucking bracelet. If you look at
fragments of a broken table.
Yeah, so it gets hit twice with brass knuckles, part of a table, a chair.
No, it's not like he hit him like this.
Oh no,
he flat hand a broken piece of a table and hit him.
It's about a table. It's a piece of a table, probably about like 3 feet wide and like 3 feet tall, and he takes that motherfucker and cracks it over his head. And Pitbull number 2 either completely no sells these, or does a quick kick out, or he does a quick kick out, but a belly to belly suplex. Fucking done. It's over. I don't know if they got pressed for time and like they had to rush the finish at the end there. I don't know. I don't fucking know. All right, I'm trying to not be cynical about this disaster of a fucking match.
This is 3 months before Bill Goldberg debuts, so Pitbull number 2 is just testing to see if the no sell got the crowd over, brother.
Dude, here's this shit.
There wasn't a thing that got this crowd over. I gave it a gentleman's fucking 2 because I'm not trying to be fucking mean, but like Ethan, by all means, fucking ruin everyone else's day.
Here it is. I'm with Mike, 1.5 stars. So here's what we got here. I get what they're trying to do. Shane Douglas is great. I'll give him his credit, his flowers. Pitbull number 2. I don't know if this was a test to see if this man could work a singles main event style match, but he fucking failed it. The man didn't sell shit. He didn't have no fucking fire. That's half the reason this sucked. And the crowd knew it from the goddamn jump because he did nothing to make anyone be invested in this. I can't tell you shit about Pitbull number 2 right now. I can't tell you shit he did here because he didn't do nothing.
Oh, I was going to say, Ethan, he passed away. That's why you can't say anything about him is because...
Well, Russ
That's where you're going, bud. That's why.
This match did prove something to everyone, that if you do what the ECW crowd did during this match to Cody Rhodes, he might go away because there wasn't a fucking sound that happened during most of this match. It was just kind of like stunned silence.
Can I be honest with y'all? I had to pause this match halfway through and take a nap because I was exhausted from it. I'm not even joking. I took a solid 2-hour nap. I woke up feeling refreshed. Had to watch this thing again. It was like another 9 minutes left. It was miserable.
I had my phone in my hand for the majority of it. This was just... I would compare it to Triple H and Scott Steiner, but these two actually had a better plan than Triple H and Scott Steiner had when they shit the bed. You know, they had something they wanted to go for, but unfortunately Pitbull didn't know how to execute it. So we got dog shit. So I'd put this more in the realm of Brock Lesnar Goldberg shitty.
I was going to say this
shitty.
This or Goldberg and Lesnar, Ethan? What would you rather watch?
You know, you get out there and you start trying to do this thing. And I know, you know, you're trying to fucking do the match you set out to do, but fuck it, man. If they can't even realize they're not able to work the match they're trying to do, they ain't going to be able to fucking alternate what they're doing. They just hard-headed as fuck and kept doing a terrible match, and no one gave a fuck, man. I just hope these guys knew that no one cared about anything they did, and they kept shoving it down their throat, and they sucked.
I think you missed my question. Would you rather watch this or Lesnar Goldberg?
Lesnar Goldberg. It's fucking funny. Tell me one thing in this match that made you laugh. This made you go to sleep. Lesnar Goldberg.
It literally made me go to sleep. That's the issue here.
Here's the thing, dude.
Thing that
Lesnar and Goldberg
was I kept screaming at Pat. I was like, "Who the fuck is standing there with that dumb ass motorcycle?"
They had the Riot Squad
on hard.
They had 3,000 whatever.
Oh, we'll get to who's standing there.
Is that a fucking mannequin? Because he didn't move.
It was Ruby Solo.
Was she born yet?
Pat, leave the room.
No, I think she's like, Cortland.
Nah, they needed the Florida Riot or wherever the fuck they were fucking city. They needed the Riot Squad for court purposes. That's what Joey Styles said.
So they had what was it they call it?
The Riot Squad?
Mob unit? The Riot Squad?
Yeah.
What? Oh, God.
It was the Philadelphia Riot. It was the Philadelphia Riot Squad because Shane Douglas had a hard time getting from to the ring because he had that much heat.
They keep fucking with the franchise, man. They wouldn't leave the franchise alone, so we had to
Holly must have knew that they were going to have something to try and get this crowd into this shit. Let's bring the fucking Riot Squad down there. That still didn't get them into it. The Riot Squad took fucking Pitbull #1 out or whatever, and the crowd was like, "Oh, okay." Dude, this was ass cheeks, man.
Let's give the floor to Cortland. Cortland, feel free.
I don't know.
Y'all have it higher than we do.
I gave this.
We're rating it so y'all could bump it up for us.
I gave it a star and 3/4. I don't know how much. There you go. I'm just surprised anyone went lower than me. I thought I shit on this thing.
Oh no, man.
Yeah, man, it's not great. Like you said, they had a story. They were trying to get somewhere. It didn't do well. Pitbull #2 is obviously a tag team wrestler. I can't say a whole lot about his work because I'm just not that familiar with a lot of it. But I will say that there is a 2 out of 3 falls dog collar tag team match between Raven, Stevie Richards versus the Pitbulls. I recommend to go watch that match. I think that is really good storytelling, and both Pitbulls showed their asses off in that match. However, this match is not like that one.
It's not that much at all.
And I mean, this thing dragged on. I think it ran 20 some odd minutes.
Was it really that fucking long? Holy shit.
It was the longest match on the card. It was 20 minutes and 43 seconds.
There it is.
It was such a blur that I was like, maybe they just ran for time. Dude, I don't know.
It's about 9 minutes too. They should have ran this shit home at 10 minutes and give it 10 minutes properly just because it's a championship match. And I don't want to see a championship match lower than that. However, I would have really enjoyed it to be like 4 minutes if there was no bell. This is not a great match, but I do love Shane Douglas, though, man. I think that he's one of those guys that deserve flowers. And, man, I mean, when you look at that dude's career, you look at him throwing the Eastern Championship Wrestling belt on the mat. You look at just so many accomplishments in his career, the people he's had matches with, people he's surrounded himself with. And there's not a lot of people he's with that didn't become legends. But this match is not one of them. Pitbull #2 is not becoming a legend from this match. I should have gone lower. Yeah, I should have gone lower.
You have the chance.
Nope, he already said it.
All right.
It's already out in the open.
The caption of this match is Shane Douglas versus Pitbull #2. I should have gone lower.
Pat, what'd you go, bud?
I went 1.5 stars.
You're shitting on me, and we went the same rating.
You went 0.5 star.
I went 1.5.
You went 1.5.
Oh, okay. Never mind then. Yeah, I thought you went 0.5 star. That's why I was dying because it's crazy. It's one of those. Look. Before I even get started on the match, Shane Douglas's promo was real shit, and I just want to talk about how fucking hard he was.
Yeah,
like
man.
Shane Douglas was such a G, man, and it's just like,
and you continued to be one
forever.
I mean, he did work in TNA that was fucking great.
Like, he's such a G. But this match, is just like, first of all, it's 20 fucking minutes long. I don't know why, but every minute just felt like nails on a chalkboard. It was just, man, like, and God, dude, hearing that it's 20 minutes long gives me a fucking headache now. Like, the more it went on, the worse it got. When they brought out the fucking guardrail and he dropped him on, it was, God, this shit was so horrible. Like, it's just bad.
It felt like they were doing not to interrupt, but it felt like they were doing a practice run of this match in front of a live audience. And I'm just sitting here like, damn, dude, is anybody going to sell? Is anybody going to have some fire or do something right? I mean,
do something right. Anything right.
Is this before or after the Sabu guardrail spot? Before? Okay, good. Okay. I was going to say, if they did this after that...
Y'all like to do this shit where you fucking rant about the shittiest matches and take fucking forever on them. It sucked, guys! Get it out in the open and let's move on!
Move along.
Post-match, a man in a Rick Rude robe comes down to the ring. He's still unmasked so long as he gets Francine. He gives her a good old smooch. She lays on the ground, and he's doing the typical gyration thing a la Rude until Douglas hits him with the title in the back. Rick Rude then unmasks as one of the henchmen in the Riot Squad at ringside. And the man behind the mask and the robe is Brian Lee. They beat up Douglas. Let's move on. I have a Raven promo backstage. He says most of the people are tuning in to see an old has-been and Terry Funk win it all, but that there's about 10% of people that tuned in to watch Raven continue his championship reign. He articulates really, really well, and it's a shame that we don't get much from him promo-wise in WWF when he makes the jump.
Only thing I have written down about this promo is Raven does his best version of Steiner math.
God damn it.
I loved it.
I loved it too. I knew you would have it all written out, so I didn't write it.
Comparatively to this Taz promo, this was fucking gold because we get Taz monotone as shit with Bill Alfonso backstage. Taz acknowledges that he and Sabu hate each other and that they're about to go through hell together. Taz has choked out every single opponent that Bill Alfonso has put in front of him. He promises to choke Sabu out, and that's about it. This had bright moments, but largely the promo sucked.
Didn't look at the camera one goddamn time.
Bill Alfonso is the ugliest motherfucker ever.
Yes.
He's a king. I don't know if y'all just heard gunshots outside of my window, but that's where I live. I don't know if my camera picked it up, but here we are, fellas. We jump to the ring, and we get Taz with Bill Alfonso taking on Sabu in what they dubbed the grudge match of the century, which actually popped the crowd pretty heavy when they found out what...
I mean, dude, they worked towards this for over a year. I mean, Taz called out Sabu numerous times, and to go to find out Paul Lee's secretly in the back telling Sabu not to fight him, and he doesn't want this to happen, and all this stuff. He eventually, I believe that Taz attacked Paul Lee, and then that's what brought us to this, right?
I think so.
I haven't gone back and rewatched ECW TV.
It's like foggy for me a little
bit.
Yeah,
Taz started interfering in RVD and Sabu's tag matches, and he attacked Paulie dangerously, and that is enough. Sabu encountered Taz or confronted Taz, and they signed the match for the event on TV.
I like it.
Yep.
Cortland, since you were talking, brother, how about you feel about this?
I expected this match to be a little bit better than it was, but it's not a bad match. I enjoyed it for what it was. Taz is scary, man. He's just an all-around scary person. He just kept dropping Sabu on his head over and over and over again in typical Taz fashion. And Sabu does a lot of his innovative spots, almost kills himself several times running off of chairs and ropes per usual. I gave this match a solid gentleman's 3 is what I'll give this match. I wish it could have been more, like I said, man, but Taz Mission is Taz Mission, and that's what we get. The main thing is what comes after, but I'll let everyone have their rating out, Pat.
I give it 2 3/4. I feel like that's low. I don't really know that. I don't really care either. I didn't hate the match. I liked it. It's just like, dude, Sabu fucking botched so many spots in this match, man. And it's just, and like, it, as always, dude. And it kind of just killed it for me. Like, I just, it's great. It's a good match. It's just like, I just couldn't get over that shit. Like,
Ethan.
So,
I'm not gonna go the route people probably expect me to go. I've watched this match probably 3 or 4 times. First 2 or 3 times, I was trying to give it a second chance because I really was let down back when I was younger, and I've heard of the Sabu Taz feud, and I get to this, and then it's just like, damn, that was it. Watching it back this time, I appreciated it a lot more. I don't think it's tough. That's a lot of people are let down by it. I was let down by it, and I'm not going to make an argument that it's an amazing match. But looking at it for the 3rd or 4th time, I think it was really good. They just didn't work it in the way you'd expect by how they built it. You know, you would expect a fucking fight, throwing bombs.
You expect a blood feud.
At it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And that's not the route they went, but clearly the route they did go was more of a psychological thing of, all right, fucking Taz is going to try to work the match his way. Sabu's going to try and work it his way. So early on, Taz has got him on the mat, going around. He busts his nose open. Sabu's like, oh, shit, I'm bleeding. I'm going to take your ass to the outside and botch a bunch of shit, but also hurt you sort of in the process. And just, you know, the whole match was like a struggle between them both trying to control it. Taz is wanting to grapple and shoot. Sabu's wanting to throw chairs and fly around and fuck up. So I just really like the struggle and the psychology of the match. I went 3 1/4. When I first watched it, I went 2 3/4. But the crowd, I think, killed it also a lot. But also, I think the crowd was wanting something different than what they gave. And should they have known they were going to want something different? Probably so. So I'm not going to sit here and say they had this great match and this great idea. But I do think there is good stuff in here, and they had a good intent with it if you look at it from a different point of view.
Casey, you want me to go? You want to go?
Yeah, I don't care.
Go ahead, bud.
I will say I am glad that Ethan went before me because he had said exactly what I wanted to say, where they did. It was basically 2 fucking separate matches between the two because stylistically did not match up at all. But like, they at least like attempted to work well together. So like, it was definitely one of those ones where I kind of wish it was one or the other, but I feel like Sabu's not like a super technical wrestler.
Yeah.
So like, it would have.
You're not lying about that, are you?
That's
so, like,
the question.
It would have to be like Taz having to like kind of dumb down his work in a sense, and it's like he doesn't fucking do that. And I feel like it's like always been the issue of like them being in the ring together is that like Taz is really fucking good at what he does, but he doesn't like he's not gonna counter a fucking dive to the outside of the ring with one of his own. It's not gonna fucking happen. Like it's so. I will say, Sabu is notorious for botching shit, but technically speaking, this is the most successful springboards I've ever seen in a match from him. The only like fuck up one he had was when Taz literally stood up on the table and like he had to stop, but like every other springboard spot he had, he fucking nailed. And for some reason that's like mildly impressive to me because for someone that's like known for doing them, he fucks them up every match.
Oh yeah.
Like it's like it's hard pressed to find a one Sabu match where it's like it all goes according to plan.
No.
I think I was being a little more generous on the fact because I do believe that they did the best with what they did. I mean, ultimately it's on them for fucking not working one style together, but I gave it 3 1/4. I think about like A few minutes into this match, I had realized what this match was, and it's what we haven't talked about yet. And I went, oh, fuck. And I was just really excited for that to happen. So.
And we get to better Taz and Sabu matches
Yeah.
throughout this year and the next year. So this is their first.
I think it's just like
touching on TV, you know?
It's just it's still just weird. Like,
yeah. Fellas, a few things that nobody touched on. Firstly, Taz was in the ring and then Sabu just kind of showed up.
I love
just kind of
he
there.
Fucking sprinted out.
Yeah, I literally he just sprinted to the ring, I guess, with a question mark. I loved when Taz gave his leg for a single leg to Sabu, then took his back, got his hooks in, and beat the shit out of Sabu with these cross faces, man. I loved it. I popped really hard for it, and he busted Sabu's face up. It felt like a gritty moment in that match, but it was like the tale of two matches. It was like Taz was like, "This is my domain," and then Sabu was like, "All right, motherfucker, you got me bleeding. Let's go to mine now. I gave you tit for tat. Let's go back outside. Let's figure this thing out." I enjoyed this, man. I didn't hate it too much. The crowd, I feel like, enjoyed the outside moments, like especially the crowd areas that they were in were like eating it alive, man. They loved it. Sabu hits like this springboard Hurricane Rana from the top rope for a near fall. Ruled. Taz then takes Sabu to Suplex City for a minute before locking in the Taz mission, and he chokes him out. I had a hard time going between 3 1/4 and 3 1/2 for it. I enjoyed it that much. I went 3 1/4 ultimately. But man, I didn't think it was as bad, man. I feel like I walked into it with expectations of Sabu being as advertised and being a fucking wild man that just doesn't do things very well, but he's still crazy enough to do them. And I feel like that made me enjoy it a little bit more, but it was great. Post-match, Taz says Sabu gave him the fight of his life and that anytime Sabu wants a rematch, Taz is happy to oblige. He extends a handshake as a sign of respect for Sabu. They embrace, and the crowd shits on them for it. And then Rob Van Damme comes down and attacks Taz. It takes a little bit for Sabu, and props to Sabu here, man. He really played up the suspense with the crowd because they were kind of like,
"Is he gonna?"
And once he started stomping out Taz with Rob Van Damme, like they loved it, man. Alfonso comes in and faces off with like Van Damme and Sabu, but then he just reveals a Sabu shirt underneath his Taz shirt. He double-crossed Taz. You have a "you sold out" chance raining on him. Fonzie said that he owns Taz. He owns his colors. RVD grabs the mic, says that he's a main event superstar, and if anybody wants to book him, that they need to get in touch with his man Fonzie. And oh, by the way, I really like the thought of working Mondays. Bill is they're showing them walking to the back, and Bill is cutting a promo to the camera right in front of him, and then fully turns his body and looks this man dead in his face and goes, "Hey, fuck you, asshole!" And it was my favorite thing because they had a hard time. They had a hard time getting this on pay-per-view because it was like, all right, motherfuckers, like the mass transit thing happened. Like we need to settle down. We need this to be dumbed down. Like we don't need cussing. We don't need a ton of blood. Like, and then for Bill Alfonso to just like turn and be like, "Hey, fuck you, asshole," is such a funny thing to me.
He like literally just like repeats the promo he cut walking back, and everyone's just yelling. He's like, "Fuck you, asshole!"
Yeah, he like stops and like fully turns. It's good, man. It's good. Also, anybody have anything that they wanted to add there?
I know we're doing these, and I always forget how much I fucking despise having to hear Bill's whistle.
Yes, my god, dude.
Yes. I'm so excited.
I hate it so much, dude. It's so hard to get through RVD and Jerry matches, or like really any RVD match.
The whole time.
Can you imagine being there?
Oh my god.
He looks so like I wish I like knew their names because it's the same 5 fucking people that sit in the front row all the time, but one of them that notably is wearing a Hawaiian shirt and like typically always does. He says something to Alfonso and Fonzie looks back and just goes like really fucking loud in his face. Like he just fucking wails on that whistle. I'm like, Jesus, dude.
There is one thing I wanted to ask the Sabu and Taz match that I wrote down. I forgot. Sabu starts doing Taz's offense, and he responds with a collar elbow, like collar suplex of his own. He even puts him in a Taz mission, which, I mean, that's just something in this match that whenever it opens up, you'd never imagine you'd see Taz or see Sabu wrap Taz up and put him in a rest hold. But he did.
It's not wrong.
Just something like that got me a pop at me.
It's not a rest hold, brother. He's choking people out left and right on ECW TV.
It felt wrong watching him put him in the Taz mission. You're like, what the fuck?
Because he like wrapped his leg first and then was like, wait, other way. Wrapped his leg and, you know,
hold on. There we go.
But yeah, it popped me a little bit because I just didn't expect Sabu to put in a Taz mission ever.
Yeah, it was very sick. Joey Styles introduces Ric Flair's best friend Tommy Dreamer as a special guest color commentator. We get Beulah McGillicuddy coming out with him. I love the moments that I get Cortland to put his hands over his face. That's the nicest way I could have said it, Court. Yep. That was the nicest way I could have worded that.
Hey, dude, I would have said way worse. So.
I know.
I know. That's why you're the man.
That's why I try to be as correct as I can.
That's why
gotta stay monetized, fellas.
That's why I said what I wanted to say before we went live.
You did. Ric Flair's best friend, R.A. We get Stevie Richards with the Blue World Order versus Sandman versus Terry Funk in an ECW World Heavyweight Championship #1 contenders triple threat match, 3-way dance. That's a mouthful. The Sandman's forever long entrance without Enter Sandman is depressing.
Dude, okay.
As fuck.
I said this to Pat before we even turned this on. I said, I don't want to hear another motherfucker say a single thing about how long Undertaker's entrance. Because mother of God, dude. This shit was so painful to sit and I was just like, dude,
because
he's still standing there.
Because I love everyone here. Just standing there. Because I love everyone here and I love everyone that's watching.
Everyone?
You have to fucking sit and just look at the BWO with the Sandman's music playing for the longest minute and 2 seconds of your life. The Sandman's entire entrance is 5 minutes and 5.2 seconds long.
And what did he do? What did he do?
It's 5.526. He comes out, he takes 4 steps, he takes his beer, he drinks a little, he smacks it on his head. He's already bleeding before he even smacks his head, so he's bleeding immediately, and then continues to fucking drink and smack his head more. The last one he does before he gets in the ring, I think he hits himself so hard he stumbles for a minute where he's like, oh fuck.
I should have drank more of that one first.
Goldberg style.
Hell yeah. Shouldn't have done that on the door.
But I want you to know that his entrance was so long that I went back and timed it.
Yeah.
You spent 10 minutes watching.
I spent 10 minutes just watching the Sandman get to the fucking ring.
Did you at least play Enter Sandman the second time around?
I just took my headphones off. I popped them off, and I sat there. I was like, "Fuck, this is really long."
It's forever long.
I almost texted Pat whenever I was watching. This is the only match we didn't watch together, and I was in the middle of texting him and saying like, "Have you made it through the Sandman entrance yet?" And it was like 2 days later.
That's the landmark.
This entrance was so long, I almost went back and watched WrestleMania 20's Undertaker entrance to compare notes. That's how long this felt. It was so goddamn long.
Would you compare it from Paul Bearer's entrance with Druids? Because you're talking like 10 minutes there. That's a 10-minute intro. And then you have Kane shivering, but we're not here for WWE.
Okay. I don't want to spoil anything, but we had watched something else. Most of us have, at least, because we want to cover it at some point. Sandman's entrance is 5 minutes and 27 seconds in that.
But that's different, man. If you have
not.
It fucking is, dude. If you have actual audio from that, that is the best crowd when Enter Sandman is playing.
That
crowd is going bonkers, man.
It's a whole 2 women's matches in the WWE long.
That's
It
fair.
is so long.
Cortland, you're just ruining Cortland's day. Anyway, Stevie Richards really gets his ass beat in this match.
Good God.
Also, can we acknowledge just how timeless Terry Funk is? 52 years old.
Yes.
At this time. He's a fucking nutcase.
God.
It makes me appreciate how insane he really is. Richards gets eliminated after getting the piss beaten out of him, ultimately being pinned after a tandem powerbomb. Sandman grabs some barbed wire and Funk deters those attacks. Funk then whips Sandman with the barbed wire, which I was like, what's happening?
Took off Sandman's
Dude, and they got
shirt.
a really good. Yeah, they got a really good close up of it too. Like I think the second or third one he throws, it hits, and you see
stuck.
it like right into his side, and he pulls it, and you see Sandman's face being like, "Ah, that fucking hurt!" Like, damn it, I was supposed to no sell that.
Should have had one more beer.
Should have cracked myself unconscious. After a back and forth, Richard gets re-involved, hitting a Stevie kick on a trash can covered Sandman, allowing Funk to win the match via, I think he hit a moonsault for the W. Am I right on that?
The scariest moonsault of all time.
Of the match.
This
Dude,
fell off the
his hip right on his sternum. Like, he does a backflip, but does like a half corkscrew and lands all hip right here.
Would you rather have Terry Funk land all hip off of a moonsault, or would you rather get your whole entire face caved in by Cronus on a fucking total elimination? Figure it out, fellas.
I'm taking that Terry Funk buff.
That's what I'm saying. Cronus, go back and watch Joel Gertner get his fucking whole head wrecked, dude.
Early on in the match, they have a ladder out, and Funk does a moonsault off of that, and he fucking lands on his head like minutes into this match. Like he
Lance Archers himself, brother. Hell yeah.
I just wrote Terry Funk unalives himself on a moonsault off the ladder. Like, it's like fucking Christ. Yeah. I don't know how he made it through this whole match.
This fell off the tracks after Richards got eliminated. But it was all right. It was fun. I went 2 3/4. I don't really have much else to say. Whomever wants to talk, feel free. I would say let's do Pat.
I'm scared.
I went 3 flat. Dude, this match was not good.
It's a mess.
But it was great to watch. It was hella entertaining. But it's a mess. It definitely goes off the rails. Terry Funk, Jesus fucking Christ, bro. Thank you for everything that you've ever done. Literally. And I will say this. American piece of shit Tommy Dreamer definitely ruined every moment of this for me. Everything, anytime he opened his fucking mouth trying to be like, ooh, they told me not to interfere. He had to do it by himself. I hated every fuck Tommy Dreamer. I hated all that shit. But if he wasn't around, I might have rated it higher. Who knows?
Ethan, I think I heard you start to talk before, man. Go ahead.
Oh, well, before we got on this podcast, we're talking about my dad's favorite wrestlers. One of my dad's favorite wrestlers is Terry Funk. So,
goddamn right.
I have a warm place in my heart for Terry Funk.
It's so on brand.
I've seen Terry Funk wrestle a lot. I've seen this match several times, and the fact is, it is a mess. But look at who you got: Sandman, who's not a good wrestler; Terry Funk, who is 53 years old; and Stevie Richards, who has not done anything very inspired in his entire career. So this just, it was bound to come off the goddamn rails. But 3 stars, man. I mean, you can't shit on something that was this fun. I love Terry Funk. I love what Sandman does, and Stevie did his thing too. Fuck yeah. I love Terry Funk. This show and this ending, I love this whole fucking thing, man. It's just Terry Funk getting his moment. And here's the deal, too. Like, with the fucking moonsault off the ladder, I put this in my review of it. It's like, it looked like fucking dog shit. He about killed himself. But here's the deal. Realistically, if a 53-year-old man's doing a moonsault off a ladder, is it gonna look good?
It's off a ladder that they got from fucking
like
Home Depot.
It's a straight up painting ladder. It's a painter's ladder.
If Terry Funk hit a fucking uniform moonsault off of that thing, I wouldn't have liked this match. I would have gave it 2 stars.
Sandman tries to climb up the opposite side of the ladder at one point, and I was waiting for it just to fucking snap in half.
To literally crumble.
Yeah.
Dude, it's just like, I don't know. But yeah, 3 stars. I don't know. For some reason, this match, I kind of like this match. It's not like one of my favorites of all time, but when I think ECW, I just think of this moment with Terry Funk. So it was really cool. And yeah, for also, while we're here, Tommy Dreamer, fuck you, buddy. I used to like you, Tommy. I wanted to say this for a long time because I tweeted at him when all this other shit went on. But I don't even have to say, because if you watch this and you got a brain, you know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Tommy Dreamer, I used to like you, okay, but buddy, everything you do now has been tainted thanks to you being a fucking outdated dumbass. Join Bubba and Booker. Get the fuck on.
In the dork club, you fucking dork. Cortland, what you got, bud?
Dork club.
You fucking dork.
I gave this match 3 flat as well. It's hella entertaining, man. It's got all the pieces. Stevie Richards plays his part. He's the guy that gets beat up, and damn boy, he gets beat up. And a lot of times, man, it's hard to find someone who got beat up as good as Stevie Richards did, man. Because holy shit. And his super kicks always looked great. His selling always looked great. So I just wanted to spend a minute to just really, I think a lot of us that are going to be watching these ECW back with us are going to realize how great Steven Richards was for that company, and how he was the yes man when the yes man was a good thing to be.
He put everybody over, man.
Yeah, fucking awesome stuff. I feel like he gets shitted on because of what the fuck was it?
Right to Censor?
Right to Censor.
One of my favorite factions of all time.
I just think it's not fair because
You're
Right
lying.
to Censor was fucking great.
Wait, what did you say?
Yeah, he loves Right to Censor.
Right to Censor is one of my favorite factions of all
You're
time.
You're lying.
I fucking love it, dude.
We've talked about it at length.
Favorite. You turned some of the crowd's favorite fucking people into fucking their worst versions of themselves, and I loved it, bro.
That entrance music made me actually want to unalive myself.
Oh, dude, it's so
would you rather be in an arena with that or with Bill Alfonso's whistle?
Right to Censor because it ends.
You had Bull Buchanan in there.
Bull
I had to look up the
Buchanan,
numbers to
the
know.
good father.
You had good
the
father.
good father.
The good father.
The good father, man.
You had Val Venus, Ivory, and the cat.
I forgot the cat. The cat was like the end of that.
Yeah.
Shout out Ivory for sure.
We've said it before, but shout out Ivory.
Yeah.
Ivory.
Well-deserved Hall of Fame.
Yes.
Give them flowers.
My favorite thing of this match is the ladder. It is a Home Depot piece of dog shit. And here's why. This was so great about this, man. This is 97, man. This is on the cusp of before a ladder's really being used anything in any other promotion, right? Like they're not using a ladder the way that ECW is using it. And every one of them did it, which is so great. They did a vertical suplex to the ladder on 2 people. So they're taking full bumps with a ladder to hit their opponent with it. And I just love it, man. It looks great, other than Mike's camera shot right now.
Oof.
Fuck. Help me, brother. Help me. Pray for me, fellas.
Yeah, man, I enjoyed it for what it was. It's not your barn burner of an event. It is a fucking mess. But I would be remiss if this is not one of the most entertaining,
It's so entertaining
matches that you'll get out of ECW in 97. It's a fucking spectacle.
Old Casey.
Yeah, man.
When I first, because I forgot about this match, when they said who was in this match, I was like, why? This is the biggest clusterfuck of fucking people to be in a match together. It doesn't make a lot of sense. I will flat out say, I'm not the biggest Sandman fan.
No.
While walking out through this horrendously long entrance, I just wrote that the Sandman Oh, what did I fucking write? I said Sandman is the definition of a white trash deadbeat dad who's still trying to relive the glory days as an outside linebacker in high school. His fucking his beer belly is so aggressive. Bro, it's goodness.
That thing
It only gets worse.
I have to admit,
when he walks into a room, that thing says what's up before he does. Like that thing is out there.
I have to admit, I dressed up as Sandman 2 Halloweens ago.
Hell yeah,
You
brother.
You did.
You did.
I
do
still
remember
have
that.
the fucking cane.
The most protected thing in this entire business has been making sure that no one sees that stomach.
You should
that
have
a
broken
Singapore
edge and just
cane or a
actually
Florence
chugged a
cane?
beer on that fucking Halloween, bro. You should have just commit to the gimmick.
Let her eat.
Fully broke edge, called it a day.
Almost immediately into the match, there is a side headlock into a side headlock, so it's double side headlocks. And I went, oh man, these guys are killing the biz. Maybe about 15 years later, and that's all you would see at PWG. You got Funk unaliving himself on that fucking painter's ladder. There's a spot where Sandman tries to smash Stevie's face in with that ladder, and it's on the top rope, and he fucking flings that shit into the crowd.
Yeah, that shit was hilarious.
Don't know if anyone didn't see that almost happen.
Yeah, he
Nah,
does.
He
dude.
does.
It's like
That shit is hilarious.
over end. It's a
Dude, and you can see the look and concern on like the people's faces, like, oh shit.
Because everyone that you can't see on the side is going, oh fuck, it's a ladder.
everyone on hard cam's like pointing, and then everyone over here that you see is like.
There's a spot where Sandman had disappeared for the third time and comes back out with a trash can inside of a steel tube thing, but he sets it up and he's gonna go and suplex Stevie Richards onto it, and Terry like stops him and calls for like a double suplex. But at this point in the match, Sandman's so fucking oblivious to what's going on, he just goes for it anyways with Terry standing right next to him. So Terry has zero time to run around to get set, so he just grabs Stevie's shorts and helps him like
I got you, buddy. Come on up and over.
It's the most awkward shit I've ever seen, where like Terry's like, God damn it, and like just like helps. It's fucking awkward. It gets 3 stars. It deserves the 3 stars because it's so. It shouldn't have been as entertaining as it was.
Right.
And then also,
Right.
yeah, you get Sandman getting whipped with barbed wire, and then instead of taking off the barbed wire, he wraps himself into the barbed wire, and it's like, give me a hug, Terry, and goes to hug him.
Mike?
I already said my piece, man. I went 2 3/4. Y'all about to make me feel like a piece of shit for going 2 3/4 on
Don't,
that.
buddy. Stick to your gun.
No,
Notes.
I'm pitching you to go to our next situation.
It was a
Move
mess.
on.
Then you have Terry Funk versus Raven. Raven immediately, another guy that just didn't have an entrance. He just showed up.
He was in the ring.
He just was
saying,
there.
Let's fucking go.
Hey, bud, I'm here for you. He hits a drop toe hold on Funk, who goes face first into a steel chair. Funk gets to bleeding pretty badly pretty quickly, and he gets himself, man. 53, that shit is coming out quickly.
Yes,
52, sorry, 52, right?
3.
Raven sets Funk up on a table on the outside, then hits a shitty dive over the top rope,
It's
crashing
Raven,
through
bro.
said table for fuck's sake. You had Tommy Dreamer standing up, trying to goad Raven into a fight from the announcer's table.
Do we have a return here?
Those
Yeah,
that
Raven even
listen on Spotify or Apple Podcast didn't just see Casey's hand gestures when I mentioned Tommy Dreamer, but that's okay.
During this match, also, Raven grabs the microphone and tells Tommy Dreamer that he's going to put Funk through 3 tables and end his career. Oh.
Turns out that's a lie. Still wrestles for another 20 years, bud. Joke's on you. Big Dick Dudley comes out and cracks Tommy with a trash can. Hard as fuck, man.
Dude, you gotta call it how Joey Styles calls it. Big Dick Dudley, he's out of prison!
He did say, he's out of prison!
Tommy, behind you.
In the midst of all this chaos, Raven DDTs the ref to hell and back. Nobody cared about it. He fucking killed that ref.
So once again, Funk is literally bleeding to death, like aggressively in the ring. He not only has a horrible gash on his head, he has a gash across his whole like right side from the barbed wire with Sandman, and like doctors are like the doctors legitimately concerned for his well-being. And like I think the ref's like trying to tell Raven like, hey, we've got to send this home, and he just fucking DDTs him for his trouble.
He knocks out the ref. He knocks out the doctor. DDTs.
Dude, DDT's the shit out of the ref, man. I mean,
while fucking Big Dick Dudley's trying to commit murder, like 20 feet away.
So, Dudley goes to chokeslam Dreamer off the announcer stand through some tables, but Tommy reverses it and hits his own chokeslam on Dudley. And
Which
it
is
pops
the
the crowd hard. It popped the crowd like a motherfucker, though, man. It had the crowd so hot.
Dude, he wasn't touching him. He just jumped.
They just wanted someone to go through tables, and it's super unbelievable for someone as big as fucking Big Dick Dudley to get chokeslammed by Tommy fucking Dreamer.
That's all this crowd wanted anyways.
They saw the tables get stacked, and they were like, someone's going through, and we don't give a fuck who.
Then Dreamer goes down to the ring, hits like a tornado DDT on Raven for a near fall, which I think was supposed to be your finish. And then Funk gets Raven in a small package for the pinfall victory. Dreamer and Funk embrace and celebrate with the fans as they go off air.
Yes, sir.
2.5?
Oh, the 2.5.
I gave it 2 3/4.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm right there, 2 3/4.
Anything else anyone want to add to that? Ethan?
I think it's plain and simple.
I think I died of laughter when Tommy Dreamer's coming over the barricade and Raven fucking throws the fucking chair.
He takes a draft and just fucking yeets it at his fucking head. So like as Tommy gets his second leg over, he like just gets over. It's like bah, right in the fucking forehead. Also, when all of this pandemonium first is breaking out, what all of the members of Raven's flock comes out, and Reggie Bennett comes into the ring and fucking delivers the absolute dog shit power bomb to fucking Terry Funk. I'm like, once again, he's fucking just a fountain of blood at this point, and like this, Reggie comes in and just delivers the worst.
I'm just drop him on his head real quick.
I mean, I feel like after the match is a really good feel moment to touch on. You have the embrace with the crowd outside. Funk goes up to those diehard ECW fans, do with the like pine straw,
the big hat,
like
yeah.
Yeah, immediately goes to him, literally pouring in tears. That dude's fucking crying. He hugs him. They embrace. I mean, and Terry Funk is covered in blood, and everyone in this crowd's grabbing
He's
at
just
him,
loving on him, man.
And like they don't care, man.
No.
It's just a really good feel-good moment for that Philly crowd, and I mean, it's so deserving that Terry Funk deserves every accolade that he can be given. So for this moment to happen in that crowd at their first pay-per-view event for ECW, it couldn't have been written off in the stars any better for him. So it's fucking great, man. I want to give it higher because of the spectacle, but I feel like I went high for the three-way dance, so I'm going to try to keep it even, you know, because all in all, dude, it's just a fucking messy spectacle. But man, the feel-good embrace at the end, you can't help.
It's all about
smile.
that moment.
Yeah, you can't help but smile. You can't help but remember that piece of this match.
Yeah. Fellas, anything else you want to add?
I think we're all good.
Thank God this is not the rain tear.
Our next episode is what? Hardcore Heaven is the next pay-per-view they ran?
I believe so.
Go.
Me and Colin had looked through. I have to double check. So it looks like some of the like live events that weren't technically considered pay-per-views are actually on Peacock.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like
They're just scattered.
Yeah. So
because
I'll double check, but I think it's Hardcore Heaven.
Hardcore Heaven has a surprise on it, and that surprise is our own Casey, aka Bam Bam Bigelow, wrestles on this card. against Spike Dudley. Yeah, we get that on here.
One of the
We
greatest
get
fucking moments.
Chris Candido versus Taz. Taz defending his ECW World Television Championship. We get Spike Dudley versus Bam Bam Bigelow.
Hey,
we
man,
get
Little Spike Dudley, LSD.
Little Spike, yep.
Acid drop. Come on,
we
baby.
get Rob Van Damme versus Al Snow. We get PG-13, which is Jamie Dundee and Wolfie D versus the Dudley Boys, Bubba Ray and Devon, the champions, with Jenna Jameson, Joel Gertner, Sign Guy Dudley, and Big Dick Dudley. Just a full-blown entourage.
Wait, why?
Yeah, I said what I said. I said what I said.
Yeah.
It's ECW in '97.
You have Jerry. Oh my God, we can't get away from the motherfucker.
Nope.
We have
Oh,
Jerry
I'm excited
Lawler.
about this.
Jerry Lawler versus Tommy Dreamer.
Yeah, I'm excited
Who's the
about this.
bigger
I'm gonna
piece of
shit all
shit
over it.
match?
And then you get
American piece of shit, man.
So remember,
And then you
this
get-
is how they got to this moment with the ECW getting the pay-per-view is that WF allowed ECW talent to come to Night Raw. The story is that Jerry the King Lawler is calling ECW extremely crappy wrestling and
Funny.
shooting this whole angle with Tommy Dreamer and all this nonsense. However, the help that WF gave ECW was the reason we ended up getting pay-per-view. So
That's true. That's
they
true.
sold the shit out of it.
And your
So-
main event is Terry Funk versus Sabu versus Shane Douglas in a three-way dance for the ECW World Heavyweight. And that is the card for next week. But fellas, if nobody else has anything to add, guys, firstly, I want to thank you for listening to another edition of the Up and Over podcast. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to us on YouTube. Also, don't forget to give us a 5-star review if you listen on Apple Podcast.
And
give us a-
Spotify. Spotify
now you can.
has ratings.
You have to listen to at least one whole episode. So if you get through this and you're hearing me right now, hit us with a 5-star on Spotify as well. Be sure to follow us on our socials over at Up and Over Pod on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. From there, you can find all of our socials personally. And feel free to chime in about next week's episode, man, if y'all had a match that stuck out, or maybe, if we do any fan suggestion like events, and we can do an episode like that. Feel free to shoot us over. But guys, y'all enjoy your week. For Ethan, for Cortland, for Pat, for Casey, I am Mike, and we will see you guys next week. Enjoy the rest of your
Good night.
Bye.